Hello everyone. Welcome to a new lesson of robust control systems. So we have been discussing about systems which have uncertainties or perturbations, right? So we know that our plan is not perfect. So our plan has some uncertainties embedded within the plan. Now the next aim is to pull out the uncertainties out from the plan model, have the separate plan, nominal plan model, and the perturbations as separate blocks. So LFT or linear fractional transformations are a way to represent the nominal plan model and the perturbations separate as separate blocks. So today we are going to discuss those techniques. Linear fractional transformations. Linear fractional transformations. So LFTs, okay? In some books, instead of linear fractional transformation, they call it as linear fractional representations, LFR, okay? So this is the most widely used terminology in the literature, linear fractional transformations, okay? So LFTs are a powerful and flexible approach, flexible approach to represent uncertainty, or perturbations, okay? They help us to improve, they help us to separate out what is known from what is unknown. In a feedback like connection. Okay, so we can separate out the perturbations out of the nominal plan model and represent it as a separate block. Okay, so there may be many uncertainty sources. So all those things can be clubbed into one single block. Okay, and they can be separated out from the nominal plan model. Okay, so what are the advantages? Typical advantages: one, multiple types of uncertainties. Multiple types of uncertainties can be considered simultaneously. Okay, so there may be many types of uncertainties within a system, within a same given system. Okay, all those things can be considered simultaneously with the help of LFT transformation. Nonetheless, the uncertainties may be raised. From several sources. Okay. Second one, all unknown expressions would be treated as a single unknown expression, as a single uncertain term. Okay, all the unknown terms can be clubbed and can be treated as a single uncertain term. Then the conventional model can be counted as counted as a particular form of LFT model. A particular form of LFT model. Okay, so we will see what's that, and then I will explain this point. So this is the model. Okay, you have a nominal plant P. Okay, this is a nominal plant P, right? So here we have the controller K. Got it? And now we have a block delta that represents the uncertainty delta. Okay, so there will be a signal from the plant to the controller, right? Similarly, back from the controller to the plant. Likewise, there will be an input channel from the plant to the uncertainty block. Okay, and an output signal from the uncertainty back to the plant. This way of representing systems are called linear fractional transformations. Okay, so the signal that comes out from the plant and goes to the controller, that is called the measured output Y. Y is called measured output. Measured output. Why it is called measured output? Because we use sensors to sense the signal. That is why it is called measured output, right? And the signal that comes from the controller and goes to the plant, that is called the control input U. Okay, U is called the control input. Right? Now, this signal that goes to the uncertainty block from the plant, that is called the regulated output Z. Z is called a regulated output. Okay, and the signal that enters the plant from the perturbation block, that is called exogenous input W. W is called exogenous input. Okay, now let us take the conventional model. We had a feedback configuration. This is summing point. Here we had the controller C. This was the plant G. This is a unity feedback with negative polarity. Okay, this was the reference input R. This was the measured output C. Right. So you see, this conversion, if suppose delta is equal to 0. Okay, suppose delta block is not there. Then what happens? We simply have a two-block configuration. One having a nominal plant P, and the other one with the controller block K. Okay, so how can we represent it in this way? See, this is the nominal plant. Okay, all other things will constitute K. Okay, so I can represent this like this. Here is our G, and this is our K. Okay, now it has been brought down into LFT form. That is what is written here. Conventional model can be counted as the particular form of LFT model. Okay. So once you have your representation like this, what's the purpose of robust controller? Tell me. To find a suitable controller K, which will internally stabilize the plant P along with the perturbation block. Okay, it is easy. Once we have represented in an appropriate model in an appropriate form, it is easy to find the robust controller. What's the purpose of robust controller? To find an appropriate controller K, which will internally stabilize the plant P along with the uncertainty delta. That's the purpose. Okay. So the objective of a typical robust control problem is to find a robust controller K, which stabilizes the plant P. What is plant P? That's a nominal model. Okay, the plant P internally with uncertainty delta of S. With uncertainty delta of S. Okay. Now suppose the delta is equal to 0, there's no uncertainty. Then what happens? It will be a standard control problem, right? Wherein the purpose will be to design or to find the appropriate control K that internally stabilizes the plant P and meets the closed loop specifications. Okay. So if delta is equal to 0, in case delta equal to 0, then we get the so-called standard control problem. So-called standard control problem, wherein objective is to find an appropriate controller K, to stabilize the plant P internally. And to satisfy the specified overall system performance. Okay, so that means we have a situation like this. This is our nominal plant model P, right? This is our controller K. The signal going to K is regulator output Y, and the signal going from the controller back to the nominal plant model is the control input U. This is our exogenous input W, and this is the regulator output Z. Okay. So if you look carefully, how many outputs and how many inputs do we have here with respect to the plant P? With respect to the plant P, how many inputs are there? 2 inputs. Which are they? W and U. How many outputs? 2 outputs. Which are they? Z and Y. Okay. So that means this is a MIMO system. We can consider it to be a MIMO system, right? There are multiple inputs and multiple outputs. So I can write like this. So the output signal Z and Y must be equal to something into what? The respective input signals, W and U. I forgot to tell you one thing. Why are we using bar here? W under bar, U under bar, Z under bar, Y under bar. They indicate that they are all vectors. Okay. W bar under bar means W1, W2, W3, etc. up to Wn. There are many components. Okay. So just for brevity, I'm using this notation. W under bar. It's a vector. Okay. It's a signal vector W bar. This is a control input signal vector U bar, and so on. Okay. So this system now can be divided into 4 subsystems, which are they as P11 of S, P12 of S, P21 of S, P22 of S. This is P of S, it's in transfer function form. We are considering the transfer function form here. Okay, we are considering LTI systems, right? LTI systems wherein there is perturbation. So this is W of S, this is U of S, Z of S, Y of S, Z of S, Y of S, W of S, U of S. Okay, so from this, okay, what will be Z from this matrix expression? You will see that Z is nothing but P11 of S into W of S plus P12 of S into U of S. Okay, and what will be Y of S? P21 of S into W of S plus P22 of S into U of S. Fine. This is 1. This is 2. Okay. Now, what is U of S? That is the output coming from the controller block K of S. And what's the input to K of S? Y of S. So I can write U of S as what? K of S into Y of S. Okay. So wherever you find U of S, just substitute this thing. Okay. So first we will start with equation number 2. So if you substitute 3 into, what would you get? Y of S equals P21 of S W of S plus P22 of S K of S into Y of S. Are you following me? We are just substituting 3 in equation 2. Okay. So instead of U of S, you will get K of S into Y of S, right? So I will take Y of S terms together. That means this term can be brought back to the left-hand side. So what will you get? y of s minus P22 of s k of s into y of s equal to what? P21 of s w of s. Okay. So now y of s is common. I can take it outside. What would you get? Tell me. Y of s into 1? No, it should be I. What is I? I is the identity matrix. Okay, because why it is a MIMO system, right? There are many inputs and many outputs. So it is not a single I, one. It should be I, the identity matrix. Okay, I minus P22 of s into K of s equal to what? P21 of s, W of s. Fine. So what will be Y of s from this? Y of s will be I minus P22 of s, K of s whole inverse into P21 of s, W of s. Okay. So this is equation 4. Now you substitute 3 in 1, 3 in 1. What would you get? 3 in 1. What would you get? Z of s equals, what? Tell me. P11 of s, into W of s, plus P12 of s into what? Instead of U of s, K of s, Y of s. So K of s, Y of s. Okay. And now this is 5. You substitute 4 in 5. 4 in 5. So what would you get? Z of s equals P11 of s, W of s, plus P12 of s, K of s, into I minus P22 of s, K of s inverse into P21 of s, W of s. Okay, so this can be written as P11 of s plus P12 of s, K of s into I minus P22 of s, K of s whole inverse into P21 of s. Why? Because everything is common with respect to W of s. Okay, so what will be Z of s by W of s? Therefore, Z of s by W of s. What would you get? P11 of s plus P12 of s, K of s into I minus P22 of s, K of s whole inverse into P21 of s. P21 of s. Okay, this is called the lower LFT. Okay, this is the lower LFT. This is why it is called lower LFT, because we had considered the lower block. Okay, strictly speaking, our actual LFT, the general LFT comprises 3 blocks. One upper block delta, middle block nominal plan model P, and the lower block controller K. So in lower LFT, we are considering the lower block only. Okay, that is why this is called a lower LFT. Or rather LLFT. Okay, and it is usually used to indicate the incorporation of a controller. The incorporation of a controller K into the system. Okay, keep in mind this was our general LFT thing. Let me draw it once again for you. This is P and this is K. Okay, this signal was the measure output Y. This was the control input U. This is the gate output Z, and this is the external input W. Okay, so in lower LFT form, we are considering only this much part. Only we are considering. Okay, so that means we can think as if this K block has been pulled into the P. The control has been pulled into the nominal plan model. or I can redraw this like this again. So now I will redraw this like this. This is PK. What does it mean? It means that the lower block, the lower control block K has been pulled, has been embedded to the nominal plant model PK, right? So what is the resultant transformation as seen by the perturbation block? It is this thing, P11 plus this. Okay, so this is the exogenous input. I'm sorry, this is the exogenous input W, and this is the regulated output Z. Okay, so what is the impedance as seen by the delta block? That will be this thing, P11 S plus P12 S K of S into I minus blah blah blah. Okay. So what does LFT do? It describes the relationship between Z and W after closing the lower block. Okay. So lower LFT, LLFT describes the relationship between Z and W after closing the lower loop. After closing the lower loop. That is U equals K into Y. Okay, so this thing, sometimes people represent it as FL of PK. FL of PK. Okay, this entire expression. Okay, so I can write instead of S as what? FL of PK into W of S. It's a transformation kind of thing, right? This entire block is sometimes called FL of PK. FL of P comma K. Okay, so what will be instead of S? FL of PK into W of S. Okay. Incorporation K into the system. So that is U equal to KY, and instead of S, these are all S actually. Okay, K of S, Y of S, instead of S equals FL of P comma K into W of S. Okay, so this is what is called lower linear fractional transformation, LLFT. Okay, now we can, if you want, we can also consider the upper part alone, right? Say for example, okay, so next is upper LFT. Upper LFT, right? So in upper LFT, what we do, we consider only the upper half. Okay, we consider only this much portion. Then we get what is called upper LFT. Okay, so here we have the delta block. Here we have the plant. Okay, this is Y, the measure output. This is the control input U. This is the regulator output Z, and this is the exogenous input W. Okay. So normally we use upper LFT to represent delta, because you see here, when you are considering the lower part, it just involves the terms, the nominal plant P and the controller K. Okay. So whenever you have, so see, P and K. Okay, P11, P12, P22, P21, etc. They are all subsystems of the plant P in transfer function form. Okay, so this LLFT includes the system, the nominal plant model, and the controller K. Okay, so normally when you model, if you want to represent delta separately, then this can be taken out with the help of upper LFT, because the delta is represented as a separate block. Okay, in robust design problems, the uncertainties can be taken out. The uncertainties can be taken out from the dynamics. And the whole system can be rearranged, and the whole system can be rearranged as an LFT, UL as an LFT, upper linear fractional transformation. Okay, again we start with the basic equations. Okay, so this is Z of S, this is Y of S outputs. Okay, so our P system, the system P has been divided or can be thought of as comprising 4 subsystems: P11 of S, P12 of S, P21 of S, P22 of S. Into what? W of S, U of S. Okay. Again, what is Z of S from this? P11 of S into W of S plus P12 of S into U of S. What is Y of S? P21 of S into W of S plus P22 of S into U of S. Okay, again 1 and 2. So here, what's the third relation? So you see W is the output coming from the perturbation block delta, and the input to delta is Z. So W of S must be equal to what? Delta of S into Z of S. Okay, W of S equals delta of S into Z of S. That is 3. Okay, so from equation 1, what is W? So 3 in 1. 3 in 1. What do you get? Z of S equals P11 of S. So instead of W, we have this thing. Delta of S into Z of S plus P12 of S into U of S. So Z of S term, it can be brought to the left hand side. So I will get Z of S into, or Z of S minus P11 of S delta of S Z of S equal to what? P12 of S U of S. Again, as before, Z of S terms, Z of S can be taken common. Okay. So that means what? Z of S into I minus, okay? I minus P11 of S delta of S equals P12 of S U of S. Okay. So what is Z of S from this? I minus P11 of S delta of S whole inverse into P12 of S U of S. Okay. Now 3 into. Okay. 3 into. What will you get? 3 into. So W of S is nothing but this thing. Okay. So Y of S equals P21 of S into delta of S into Z of S plus P22 of S into U of S. Okay. So this is 4. So 4 in 5. So instead of Z of S, you just substitute that. Okay. 4 in 5. What do you get? Z of S equals, sorry, Y of S equals 4 in 5. 4 in 5. So Y of S equals what? P21 of S delta of S into I minus P11 of S delta of S whole inverse P12 of S plus P22 of S whole into U of S. Okay, because U of S term will be common. Okay, so that means what is my Y of S by U of S? That is nothing but P22 of S plus P21 of S delta of S into I minus P11 of S delta of S whole inverse into P12 of S. Okay, so this is what is called upper linear fractional transformation. So what does it mean? It means that what is the net transfer function? What's the net system seen by the controller block? This is delta. This is our P. This is our controller K. Okay. So this means that what is the net transfer function? of the plant and the uncertainty as seen by the controller block. Okay, controller is seen from here, right? So what should be the transfer function? That is what is upper LFT. Okay. Oh, I forgot to tell you one more thing here. I forgot to add one more point here. So you see, when can this LLFT exist? This LLFT is, or when can this LLFT can be said to be well posed? It is said to be well posed only if this inverse exists. I minus P22S AS whole inverse exists. Okay. So that point has to be noted. I forgot that. This ULFT, sorry, not LLFT, right? So this is LLFT, right? So this LLFT is well posed if I minus P22S AS whole inverse is invertible. Then only this is said to be well posed. Okay. As a point, we will note it down. The LLFT is well posed if and only if I minus P22K is invertible. Okay, this should exist. This invertibility, this expression must be invertible. Then only LLFT is said to be well posed. Okay. Similarly, when can you say ULFT is invertible? Only if I minus P11 delta is inversible. Okay. So ULFT is said to be well posed or is well posed if and only if I minus P11s delta of inverse exists. Okay. Otherwise, this won't exist. This won't be well posed. Okay. Is that fine? So ULFT is normally used to represent the plant and the perturbation block separately. Okay. So in a ULFT, what is P22? That typically stands for, so you see, what is P22 here? In a ULFT, typically stands for the ratio of the measured output to the control input U. Okay, and it corresponds to delta equal to 0. Okay, so you see here, this is an LTI system. So that means what is P11 is set by W. What is P12 is set by U. You can keep, it is a linear system, so you can apply superposition principle, keeping one input at a time only. Okay, so when W is equal to 0, then what happens? The second, you will get Y of S by U of S as P2. Okay. Hence, ULFT can be employed to represent. Hence, ULFT can be employed to represent an uncertain model. An uncertain model as a feedback interconnection of a nominal plant model, nominal plant and an uncertainty delta. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind linear fractal transformations. So what do we do in today's class? In today's class, we had discussed how we can pull out the uncertainties out of a block, out of a plant, represent it as a separate block. Okay, so LFTs are used to represent uncertainties as a separate block pulled out of the nominal plant model. Okay, in the next class, we will take a few examples how to derive LFTs from a given configuration. Okay, thank you.